All right, let's talk about the infamous credit card. The thing that we all feel we need. It becomes a valuable tool. Of course, with today, you guys have other ways of paying for stuff, but there gets to be a point where you might not have enough in that Venmo, right? So you want to get yourself a credit card. All right, I need some help, if you don't mind. Would you do a Google search and look for the following, if you don't mind? Hey, good to see you. I'm going to change your attendance right now. Do a Google search. I need to know so for you guys, 18-year-old first Visa credit card. And I want to know what the interest rate would be. So if you kind of do a Google with that, find me an interest rate that pops up on Google. That's some good coffee. Anyone find something for me? Anybody? Did you type that whole thing into a Google search? Hey. See, brother. 18-year-old first Visa credit card interest rate. What'd you get?
It just said like 26 was really high,
Okay.
and then like less than 20 was good.
Yeah, okay. So 26. Okay. So, so here's the tough thing with the credit cards. Truly, your first credit card could be around 26% interest. Bless you. Okay? Guys, that's a crime. Okay? 26% interest means every 3 years what you owe the credit card doubles on what you owe the credit card. Say that again. So let's say you spent $10,000. You're not able to pay off that $10,000. That $10,000, not getting any penalties, sits there. In 3 years, your $10,000 you owe turns into $20,000 you owe. All right, so let's use this calculator scenario to see what we can do. This is a free program. We said 26%. Okay. So let's pretend that you get this first credit card and you're in college or you're working some job and you decide I'm going to go put a nice vacation on my credit card. I'm going to run up $8,000. And pretending that that's the only thing that you're going to put on there, let's figure out how this would work. Pay a certain amount, calculate. All right, this is a beautiful graph. Okay, we've seen this kind of graph. We just worked this kind of graph, right? Supply and demand, but this is not supply and demand. All right, so your interest is this green line, and your payoff is this blue line, where down at the very bottom is 0. Okay, so this is looking like it's going to be like 70 months before you pay off this credit card. Okay, actually, if you look here, 7 years, 10 months that you taken to pay this off, making just $200 a month pay, your 8,000 original is going to cost you just under $11,000 to do. So the credit card's making $3,000 off of you. Now, the reason why this didn't double is you're paying every month $200 a month. And by the time you get done with, after 7 years and 10 months, trying to pay off this initial $8,000 great weekend, you're paying a lot of money. Weekend only happens once every 5 days. End of the week. Okay? This is the American dream. Okay? Can someone Google for me real quick? What is the amount? How do I want to phrase it? Let's go with. Oops. Search for that for me. Search for that for me, if you would. How much credit card debt do Americans have total? Meaning the summation of all Americans.
Over 1 trillion.
Over 1 trillion. Okay? So here's 1 trillion for you, just in case you're not quite sure what that looks like. Okay? 1,000, 100,000, 100 million, 100 billion, 1 trillion. So the United States as a whole owes some credit card company over $1 trillion. Dues and dudettes. That is scary. We as a nation, we are upside down in what we owe. Bless you. Now, a credit card is a valuable tool. But the hardest thing, I remember when I was just a little bit older than you, this is what's going to actually happen if you choose to go to a college or university. In the first couple weeks on campus, you're going to see people throwing around these fancy looking colorful frisbees. And you're like, hey, where'd you get that? Oh, go down to that tent. You go down to the little tent, and there's a person that's doing a sales pitch for credit cards for you to have, for you to apply for. And you get a frisbee. And this sounds really great. Now, well, originally when you first get a credit card, the credit card company is taking a gamble. They're taking a gamble that you might default on this credit card. So they're going to only give you a very low limit. It's going to be anywhere from $500 to $1,000 limit that you can spend each month. Now here's the problem. You're in college. You might or might not have a job. I don't know what your expenses will be, but the very unfortunate thing is people will go through and use credit cards because they have to. Now, I will tell you how, and this is just my personal ways that I've gone through credit cards for the past 25 years of being married. Because I was a fool with my credit cards originally. Okay? There was one night when I first started teaching, and I'm teaching in Vegas, that I decided to chase down a bet. Meaning, I lost what I was going to gamble, I didn't have any more cash in my wallet, and I did a $3,000 cash advance on my credit card to get money to gamble. And I did that because I figured the odds had to change in my favor. And I love the game of craps. That's my favorite game. I love the game. There's so much action at the table. If the person who's rolling the dice is winning, everybody at the table is winning. It's high impact. That's the table that I was standing at where Pam and Tommy Lee were hanging out at the opposite end. I love the game of craps. So I was trying to chase down. I had a method. I was going to win at craps. And once that $3,000 cash advance on my credit card was gone, because I gambled away that $3,000, I was pretty pissed at myself. And then I get my credit card statement at the end of the month. And I open it up and I see the $3,000 charge that I did at the casino. And I'm pissed. And then I see 28% charge down below because I did a cash advance on my credit card. My credit card company charged me 28% interest right off the bat. So I didn't just owe $3,000 to the credit card company. I owed like $3,300 to the credit card company because I was stupid and I made a choice to get a cash advance because I figured I could turn the odds in my favor and win money. And I made a mistake. And it sucked because every day I had to drive by that casino on my way to work and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was so stupid. Yeah, it was fun gambling. Gambling's fun. It's addictive. There's a lot of fun things that take place, but I made a cash advance on my credit card and I wound up getting myself in trouble. And it sucked having to pay it off and I was really ticked. Okay, so like these days, because of living in the state of Nevada for a total of 9 years, seeing people's lives pretty much get ruined because of gambling, I don't gamble anymore. Now people are like, hey, we have a March Madness pool, just give me $10 to do this. Now I'm okay. Don't get me wrong, I'll watch March Madness. I'll even fill out a bracket just for my own satisfaction to see if I could get how close I could get. But I'm not putting money down. Okay, it's a big trap. I know that I tend to have an addictive personality, so if I can stay away from things that are addicting, I do better. But a credit card, I mean, just take a look at this, guys. Look at how slow your interest, you're going down, your balance is dropping just a little bit, and then it drops down. It is a natural log curve, but look at the amount of interest that the credit card's making. And we just said that Americans owe, as a whole, over $1 trillion in credit card debt alone. That's not debt because you bought a car. That's not debt because Americans bought homes or property. That's on a little piece of plastic that you can run through a machine and get it. Now, I learned with my wife, who she's got 2 degrees from Nebraska. One was actuarial science and one was chemistry. Actuarial science is the study of numbers and figuring out statistics. And I remember when I first started dating my wife, and then we started getting a little bit more serious, and then I put a ring on her finger. My wife said, how much do you owe on your credit cards? I don't know. How much do you owe? Well, I owe nothing. Oh, wow. Let me see your credit card statements. And my wife says to me, my fiance at the time says to me, I refuse to marry you until you are out of debt on your credit cards. I owed $17,000 on my credit cards. And I thought I was doing okay. But I was on this pathway here where these guys, on what my money was going to owe me a lot. Okay? Now, we can change this to different things. Let's say we want to change our payoff time thing. Because I can lower how much I have to pay. Credit card's happy to work with me. It's like, oh, you owe us $8,000. The minimum payment on that would be $80 a month. Not that certain payoff, certain. The Minimum payment on the credit card is $80 a month. It's 10%, or it's 1% of what you owe. Okay? Look at what it says. It is unlikely you can pay off the balance with a monthly payment of $80. You need to pay a higher than $173.33. Okay. So I need to now pay, let's round it to $175 because by 5 is easier. Okay, so you remember that original $8,000? It's going to take me 18 years, 2 months to pay off. My original $8,000, my payoff amount is about $30,000. $22,000 they made on an $8,000 investment. No wonder why the credit cards are advertising all over the... You see all of that. What's in your wallet, right? Hey, there's this one credit card now that you have this kind of credit card. There are airport lounges throughout the world that you get to, rather than hanging out with the common folk, you get to go hang out in their lounge at the airport. Rather than sitting in that weird chair that you're like, ergonomically, who designed this chair? Because it seems comfortable at first until you get up and you're like, okay, I need to go to see the chiropractor now. Just imagine that. You spent $8,000 on a weekend, you decide to make your smallest payment of $175 a month. It's going to take you 18 years. So you go from age 18 to when this is paid off, you're 36 years old by the time you pay off that weekend. You're 36 years old and you just gave your credit card company $30,000. You gave them $22,000 extra dollars because you had to have a fun weekend. Okay? Now, ideally, credit card, it's pretty much a necessity as you go through life. You go to the gas station, you swipe the card because, let's face it, we don't want to go see the creepy person working inside, wait behind the counter. You're waiting in line, you're okay, $20 on pump number 7, 20 on 7, 20 on 7, 20 on 7. Get up to think, yeah, what can I do for you? 20 on, that's not the car. I'm on the pump over there. Well, do me a favor, go out there and see what number it is. Okay. Now you're back in the back of the line because you can't remember what pump that your car is parked at. Okay, it's so much more convenient to swipe the credit card, fill up the gas. Life is good. But how I have been trained by my wife for 25 years come June 12th, yeah, we use our credit cards. We pay them off entirely at the end of the month. Meaning, we don't buy what we can't afford. We know we're going to have to use the credit card, but on the opposite end, we then take the points that we earn on the credit card because of the $1 trillion that Americans owe and making these credit card companies richer and richer and richer. They're offering me points on my credit card. Now, the person who owes, all those people that owe the summation of $1 trillion, they get the points as well. But my points are free. Their points are costing them an unbelievable amount of money. Okay? I have no idea if this is going to let me do this, but let's see if we can figure out 1,000, million, billion, trillion. Uh-oh. Let's say we are going to make a payment each month of $5 million. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. So, at $1 trillion, the minimum payment that has to be made on this credit card is $22 billion a month. Okay, America, $22 billion a month they have got to come up with as a nation. 1, 2, 3, 22,000, 22 million, 22 billion. Oh, I have to add one more zero in there. Didn't count right. So, if everyone stopped using their credit card right now, and the summation of everyone throughout the United States, their payment comes to $22 billion a month. It's going to take 16 years, 4 months. Credit card companies on your $1 trillion, America, your $1 trillion that you owe us is going to make us up to $3 trillion, over $3 trillion. They're making over $2 trillion on the Americans, on the $1 trillion debt that Americans have on a credit card. Yeah. Do you think that credit card company is willing to wait 16 years? I don't know. If someone owed you $1 trillion, would you wait 16 years to get $3 trillion? Yeah. Hell yeah. That's some good walking around money. You guys see the big con here? We just figured out that if we owed $1 trillion, which we as a nation do, that means that the United States has to come up with a minimum payment of $22 billion a month for 16 years, 4 months. What has to change? Yeah, credit card companies are happy to loan you the money. Sure, just keep making that payment. We own you. They really do. They own America. Friends, when you get to the rightful age where you choose to get a credit card, do me this favor. Keep in the back of your mind, how much do you have to spend that month? Do not spend over that on your credit card. Pay off your credit card every month. You will never have a fee. You will never owe them money. They give you a 30-day loan for free. And then you get points on top of that because credit cards charge retail stores anywhere from 1 to 3% on every transaction that's used on a credit card. That's why some of our stores and restaurants now, and you can see it at gas stations, if you pay cash is cheaper than using the credit card because the company does not need to pay a credit card to use their credit card machines. Do you know I had a student many years ago that her father patented the chip that's in a credit card. Every time a credit card is used throughout the world, because of his patent, he gets a fraction of a penny for it. Okay? I've looked up what this young lady, she's now in her mid-30s. She's never worked a day in her life. She travels the world. I'll see stuff on Facebook that she'll post. She's in Paris this week. Next week she's in Johannesburg, Africa. The week after that, she's in Brazil. Oh wait, she's going to spend the next 4 weeks on Daddy's 200-foot yacht. Her dad developed a little credit card chip that you just put on top of the machine and it goes bing. Oh, that was easy. Pretty cool, huh? He's like, oh, he only gets a fraction of a penny. Fraction of a penny. Let's say he got a penny for every one of those transactions to get up to $1 trillion. A fraction of $1 trillion is an unbelievable amount of money. Okay? So, friends, I highly encourage you, if you choose to do the credit card, please, 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 know what your limit is to spend. Do not
feel that it's okay to, oh, I'll only pay that this month because it becomes a cycle. Oh, I could only pay $100 of the $600 I owe. You get to the following month. So you're like, oh sweet, I only owed $800, I paid them $100, so I only owe $700. No, now you owe $731 because they're making interest on your money that you owe them. Then the following time you go and you pay another $100. So now you think, oh, it was $33 more, so now I owe $650, even though I paid $200 on $800. Holy cow, the credit card is making a lot of money. I mean, friends, just look at that value right there. If you had a way to invest that you could triple your money in 16 years, please call me because I want to invest with you. Heck, I'll actually give you $1,000 for your own to invest in something if you have that kind of stock tip for me. Meaning your money, the $1,000 I give you will triple. I mean, that's unbelievable to me, and that's scary to me. And it just says we as a nation are pretty pathetic with our money because we have the knee-jerk reaction of we have to have, we have to have, we have to have. Okay? I know some of you come from very affluent homes. I know some of you come from homes that are not as affluent, and everywhere in between. And I'm not trying to say bad things about people who have money and bad things about people that don't have money. Know what your limits are. Live within your means. Friends, I will tell you, shame on the United States having to come up with a minimum payment of $22 billion a month to pay off their credit cards. A month. 22 times 12. Oh my gosh. Scary, isn't it? Now here's the big lie. Having debt on your credit card increases your credit score. No, it doesn't. There's a commercial that's on right now. It is an absolute false lie. Paying your credit card every month improves your excuse me, improves your credit rating. And they say it's false. No, it's true. Not having debt, having money saved, paying your debt off improves your credit rating. So take care of one another on this. Don't let yourself get caught in this. Friends, I'm going to tell you right now. I'll tell you this right now. I plan on staying here. I plan on teaching for the next 10 years. I have to retire at some point. Do me a favor. Save my number. Give me a call. Send me a text. If you're like, dude, there's a decision I gotta make. Give me a call. Oh, of course you can't see my thing, sorry. That's my number. Call me. Don't get yourself, let's not lump you all into that $1 trillion that Americans owe on credit card. Okay? Yeah, you know what? Buying things is fun. We enjoy it. But when it comes down to that end of the month, when you're looking at your credit card statement and you're like, I'm in trouble. I mean, some of you are going to get yourselves in trouble on your credit card. And I'm not trying to say that that's... I mean, we just saw that the United States owes over $1 trillion in credit card. There's a lot of people throughout the United States that are having a lot of financial trouble. They're hoping a government bailout will take place and it'll help them. Can someone, just before we end, what is the national debt right now? Anyone know?
It's like 37 something.
So this is what the United States owes other countries. Don't worry, the national debt's only 34 trillion.
Great.
So we as Americans, we're doing good. We won't be that we owe corporations $1 trillion. Oh boy. Do you notice that is continuing to count? It's not stopping. That's bad news. That's bad news, my friends. I don't know how we as a nation can do this other than telling the people who are spending our money to cut it out. Because you know as well as I, you ever get that credit card? Your parents say, here's my credit card, go buy what you need. Isn't it easy to use that credit card? Friends, that's why that's going up. We have the leaders of our country that are spending our money. Oh, it's easy to spend everyone else's money, just don't spend mine. They were given their parents' credit card. Now, when your parents gave you that credit card, did you go buy a little extra? Did you swing out, buy the In and Out on the way out of the mall? Get yourself double? Using the credit card? That's okay. I did the same thing. Okay, friends, this is scary. This is real scary. Friends, the only thing I owe in this world, even with me buying a new house, is I owe taxes. I don't owe anybody else. I owe taxes. That's a challenge I want for you guys all to take through your life. Get to a point in life where the only thing you owe is taxes. You have my number. You call me if you need me.